Every one of the people I've helped with this process has gotten unbelievably life-changing results. I'm talking some of them lost over 150 pounds in their life. Some of them went from making 0 to 5K a month in their business to making now over 50 grand a month in their business. I'm talking people who've gotten promotions that have tripled their salary. All of these things I shared with you on today's video can help you reprogram your new empowered beliefs within 21 to 30 days if you do this regularly and consistently. Hey there, welcome into the second part of our powerful belief shifting exercise. If you haven't already seen the first video on this, I highly recommend you check it out. I'm going to pin it right here for you, where I actually outline the 3 main steps of shifting your limiting beliefs. And this work, these 2 videos combined, are going to give you the full picture of what you need to do in order to change and shift your beliefs from limiting to more empowered beliefs. And we're actually going to go a bit deeper in today's video so that you know exactly how to handle step 3, which is when you choose a new empowered belief for yourself and how to actually get it programmed into your mind. If you've been on this self-development path for any amount of time, you're going to understand the power of this in just a few minutes, because you likely have been trying to go after something and change a belief that you've had in some area of your life, but it's been very difficult to do. Well, my goal for you on today's video is to simplify the process, make it actually attainable for yourself, and so that you know exactly how to do this in any area of your life with any goal, desire, or dream that you have. So in the first video, I outlined the 3 main steps to shifting a belief. The first step is identifying your limiting beliefs. The second step is to start challenging them. And the third step is choosing a new, better serving, more empowered belief for yourself and actually reprogramming your mind with that new instruction and new thought and belief. So hopefully you've been through the first 2 steps at least, where you've discovered some of the limiting thoughts and beliefs you've been having, you've started to challenge them, and now you're choosing new empowered beliefs that are going to start to replace these old ones. The whole goal of step 3 is to simply give yourself the permission to accept the new empowered belief. So basically, you've been thinking this limited belief for however long, oftentimes it's years and decades for some people, and we've been thinking this way for so long, it's become our norm. We have self-identified with that version of our story and our reality. Well, now we're starting to uproot that story, challenge it, and accept a new story in our life. That's essentially what we're doing. So I want to use the analogy of habits in working out. So if you've been around this work for a little bit of time, you'll understand that it takes a bit of time for a new habit to form. In fact, it can take 21 to 30 days, depending on the study, for a new habit to form in your life. So we understand this in a lot of ways in our life, but we often forget that everything operates by this kind of law. So naturally, things don't start to get easier until our subconscious mind takes over that task, which takes 21 to 30 days of consistent work, actually. So just like you're going to change your diet or you're going to start working out, you've got to build consistency in it. The same is true with our limiting beliefs. In fact, a belief is formed when you think a thought repeatedly, consistently over time. Often you're thinking the same thought hundreds and hundreds of times before you actually adopt it. So whatever you tell yourself over and over and over again, repeatedly and consistently over time, you start to believe, whether that's good or bad. And oftentimes we're telling ourselves something bad and limiting, and then it just becomes a limiting thought or belief in our life. What we want to do is liken this journey to the same type of journey we would be taking if we're going to go start working out and building muscle or losing weight. So just like you wouldn't just work out one time and expect to have bigger muscles or to be stronger or to have lost 1 or 2 pounds, let's say, is you wouldn't just expect anything really to be too different with just one session, with just one new belief that you thought one time, right? It's going to take you thinking like this over and over and over again over a period of time before you can recruit your brain and mind into the idea that you can accept this now in your life. This is the anatomy of a belief. This is just a repeated thought that you're thinking over and over again consistently. And over time, it just becomes a belief in the program of your subconscious mind. Well, now we have to start working our mind muscles in the direction of our goal, dream, and desire way more often. So there's essentially 3 main parts of our mind workout that we're going to be focusing in on as we do step 3, actually. Number 1 is we're going to be reminding ourselves why this new belief is more true and why the old belief is more false in our life. And the more you do that, the more you naturally let go of the old belief and the more evidence you start seeing towards the new belief in your life. So that's the first part of our workout. The second part of our workout is we're reinforcing the new story about that thing, and we're starting to use new self-dialogue. In other words, we're describing and talking about that thing differently. That's how you know you start to accept a new belief, is the way you're talking. And other people are going to pick up on this probably sooner than you will, because they'll be like, oh, You're no longer complaining about money or not having enough money. You're actually being very generous with your money. That's awesome. So when other people notice, that's how you know a belief is starting to take hold. So that's kind of the second part of our workout. The third part is skipping right to your subconscious mind through subliminal affirmations. And we're going to talk about that one last because that's something that doesn't require any conscious activity. You literally just put in earbuds and listen in to affirmations that reinforce the new belief that you're trying to go after. Okay, so we'll get into that in a bit. But basically, these first two are super important. And this is going to be your mind workout that you're going to be doing on a regular daily basis. Okay. So I talked a bit about this in the first video, but we want to start to sell ourselves on this new belief. And the very first way, and one of the most powerful ways, is to convince yourself why this belief is more true in your life and why the old one is no longer true and why it is more false in your life moving forward. So let's just say your whole life, money has been hard to make. And you've struggled to make money, you barely are making ends meet, and that's been your life for many years, let's say. So now you're adopting this new empowered belief that money's easy to make. On the surface, you can see the battle that you're going to be having here. Well, it doesn't need to necessarily be a battle. We just have to let go and surrender that old way of thinking and understand and constantly remind ourselves that it no longer serves us. It just doesn't serve us in our life right now. And it usually has never served us in our life, actually. So there's no need to keep recreating the result in the reality that money's hard to make all the time. So you're going to use a bit of like your intellectual side of your brain and logic to understand and prove it to yourself that this really is no longer true in our life. In fact, money is way easier to make. And what we're doing in this first part is there's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system, your RAS system. And if I were to say, hey, go look around the space you're in right now, whether you're at your home or your office or wherever you are, go look for all the red items in your space right now. What happens when I give you a command like that, your brain is going to go looking for all the red things. It's going to filter out all the other colors and it's going to zone in and hone in on the red items. And you're going to start to find them like a laser beam and you're going to notice a lot more of them. So this happens in our life naturally. Like, let's just say you're looking to buy a new car and it's a specific make and model of vehicle. And as you start to research it and as you start to think more about it, you happen to start to see that car, that exact make and model everywhere on the road. All that is proof that your reticular activating system is working because it's filtering out all the unimportant information and the information that's not needed or not serving us. And it's focused in on the most important information. Well, your subconscious mind doesn't care what the instruction is actually. It just goes to work to make it a reality in your life, to find that thing, to solve that problem. It's focused in on that. So what happens in most people's lives is all their instructions are limiting. And it's all these thoughts of like, money's hard to make, my relationships suck, all these problems in their life. That's what their reticular activating system has been programmed to look for. And that's what it's been creating on loop and on a cycle for many years and decades, often for many, many people. Well, this is a cycle I want to help you break finally so that you can actually break free of that programming and adopt new programming, better evolved programming that will lead to a better evolved result in your life, in reality in your life. So this work really is incredibly valuable and important. And if you actually use what I'm recommending, it's how you get there very strategically and consistently and predictably. And if you follow it all the way through for 21 days to 30 days, you are going to shift your belief. I'm here to tell you. And when you recruit your intellectual higher mind, your conscious mind in on this, now it's 100%. You're selling your entire brain on the idea that you are becoming this new version of yourself. So I hope this whole idea makes sense, but this is essentially what we're doing. And we're doing it in a way just like working out, and we're just working out our mind muscle instead of our actual muscles. So what you're going to do here with the second part of step 3, where we're reinforcing this new belief, we've got to become more familiar and more comfortable with the idea that this is our new reality. We made the decision to start to think and believe a new empowered belief, but now we've got to sell ourselves on it, become more familiar with it, and more comfortable being it. Okay. So in order to do that, you have to mentally rehearse it. You have to mentally rehearse what it would be like if this belief was actually true in your life. And here is a very quick and simple exercise you can do that will allow you to step into that version of yourself pretty quickly. On a daily basis, I want you to take some time out of your day. And if you could do this 3 times a day, that's awesome. In the beginning, though, just try to do this once a day. Practice doing this, and you might like it enough where you set a reminder, which is what I would recommend, where you set your reminder in the morning, afternoon, and evening, right before you go to bed. So there's windows of time where your subconscious mind is more readily available and open to suggestion. As soon as you're waking up in the morning is when this happens. And as soon as you're drifting off to bed is when this happens as well. Also, though, throughout the day, when you're zoned out, like let's just say you're watching a movie, your subconscious mind is more easily suggestible during those times where your conscious mind is actively focused on something. That's why commercials are so powerful. As soon as you're zoned in on a program, your subconscious mind becomes more available, and a commercial comes in to program your mind for whatever it is they're selling. So unfortunately, the powers to be have known about the power of your mind for many, many decades and have been utilizing it for whoever's benefit. We're not going to get into that whole thing in this video. I just want you to understand we can use the same tactics to recruit our subconscious mind into accepting a new belief. And once you do, it shifts your whole life. I call this the daydream exercise. And you're actually daydreaming with your imagination what it would be like to have, do, or be the goal, desire, or dream that you're going after. Imagine a genie granted you a wish and just say, hey, your wish is my command. Here's your goal, dream, or desire right now in your life. It's happening. As soon as you go home or wherever you are right now, you open your eyes and it's there. You've got the millions of dollars in the bank, or you've got the loving relationship that you've always wanted, or you've got the health and body of your dreams. What does that actually look and feel like? We've got to start using our imagination to mentally rehearse this in order for us to become more familiar with it and more comfortable with it. And then eventually we're going to become it. So this is your workout, actually. You are going to practice stepping into that version of yourself who has, is doing, or is being what it is that you desire. And from there, I want you now to start to think about that new empowered thought. And you're going to start to see that that new empowered thought makes complete sense for that version of yourself. It's easier to think that way if you've already achieved that goal, right? So that's all we're kind of doing with this exercise is you're just practicing becoming more familiar, and you're stepping into that version of yourself more and more often throughout each day. Well, over time, just like you're building muscles in the gym, you are going to build your mind muscle more towards that version of yourself. And eventually, guess what? You're going to become that version of yourself. But what happens first? You've got to believe it true first. And then it's going to happen in your life. I promise you. That is the recipe, okay? All you're going to do for the next 21 days at least, and actually, I'd love for you to do this for 30 days if you can, but set a reminder to do this mental rehearsal, this daydream exercise, as often as you can, quite honestly, but at least once a day. At least connect to it once a day so that you are programming your mind and you're moving the needle in that direction. The last part of this video has to do with our subconscious mind and gaining direct access to it so that we can reprogram it directly. And this has to do with something I mentioned earlier, but it's related to the times of day when your conscious mind is busy or is going to sleep, essentially, and your subconscious mind is now open. So this happens naturally every morning and every evening. As you wake up, your mind is open to possibilities, actually. So if you do that little visualization exercise, that daydream exercise, first thing in the morning, it's incredibly powerful because you now can connect right to your subconscious mind. But it can be even more powerful at night because as you drift off to sleep, if you can find an audio or even record an audio yourself of the thoughts and beliefs that you're looking to program your mind with, and simply put earbuds in and listen into them as you drift off to sleep. And even while you're sleeping, your subconscious mind is still going to be listening to those commands, if you will, those affirmations. And over time, if you even just do this one for the next 21 to 30 days, you are going to see a significant difference in the way you've accepted your new belief. In fact, by the end of 30 days of doing that, you likely will have accepted that new belief for yourself, and your life is now going to move in a completely different direction now. And your reality is going to create that result as a result of that. But again, all of these things I shared with you on today's video can help you reprogram your new empowered beliefs within 21 to 30 days. If you do this regularly and consistently, and you're thinking that new empowered thought and belief often now, because remember, a belief is formed simply by thinking a thought over and over and over again consistently. That's it. It's it, just like a habit, right? You're going to grow muscles eventually if you keep working out, I promise you. And it's no different with your beliefs and your mindset. So I hope this video serves you amazingly well. So knowledge is great, but knowledge without application is useless. So I'd love for you to commit to yourself that for the next 21 to 30 days, you are going to remind yourself to do this mental rehearsal work and belief shifting work every single day. Every single day. Your muscles are not going to build unless you're actually working this muscle. So you've got to do this work. Promise me, promise yourself that you will do this work. I promise you that if you do, you will see extraordinary results. Every one of my clients, every one of the people I've helped with this process has gotten unbelievably life-changing results. I'm talking some of them lost over 150 pounds in their life. Some of them went from making 0 to 5K a month in their business to making now over 50 grand a month in their business. I'm talking people who've gotten promotions that have tripled their salary. Anything is possible when you start to understand and work in harmony with how you work and how you operate as a human being. And it all stems from the way you're thinking. So you shift this and everything else will shift in your life. So with that, let me know how this exercise goes for you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.